Welcome to Brick RPG's actual play series. We're calling this The Age of a Golden Dawn. And this is a series where we use LEGO to play Dungeons and Dragons. And we're using the 2024 rule set. And this is first time I've DM'd this particular rule set. I think this is the first time most of us have played this rule set. So those at home, if we mess up on some stuff, we'll try to correct that off stream and then come back, with the corrected stuff in future games. But for the sort of ease of play, we're going to try to keep things moving. So we're not going to do deep dives into the rules. We may end up accidentally using some earlier edition rules here and there, just for ease of play. There is one house rule that we will be using, and that is for critical damage. We're going to use what's called the Perkins crit, which is you do maximum damage and then roll the dice and add whatever that is to that max if you roll nat 20. So instead of doubling the dice or doubling the total, you do max damage plus whatever you normally do.
So if it's like a D8, you do 8 damage plus whatever you roll and plus your modifier.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
So that's apparently known as the Perkins crit because Chris Perkins came up with it. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. My name's Dan. I'm a Dungeon Master, and I'll introduce each of the players in the narrative as we encounter them. So let's go ahead and get started. This is a world of magic and wonder, where the source of magical energy is a physical place in the world. Nobody knows what the source is or what makes the magic happen, but we just know that there is one spot in the world where the source of this magic is coming from. Everyone in the world has the ability to sense this source, but not everyone has the ability to use it directly. So over the eons or over the ages, different traditions have come up as far as how magic can be harnessed, and these could be wizards, these are artificers, these are druids, these are clerics, each of them using the same underlying magic, but in slightly different ways, in slightly different conditions, and explaining why the magic works in slightly different ways as well. So we're going to start in a city called Forwitch. The city is on a great river that cuts through the main continent. It's about in the middle, and it is on the edge of what is known as the Twisted Lands. The lands between this river and the source are very much affected by the source of magic, and make it so that the animals, the plants, the land itself is broken and twisted in different and interesting ways. In this place that we're living in, recently, over the last maybe 10 years, a few major sort of magical technological advancements have come along that have set us up to where the world is sort of about to enter this golden age of thought and culture and art and exploration. These two devices, one is the magical printing press, and the other is the mage train. The magical printing press has made it so that anyone who wants to read a book can get access to a book. In addition to that, the mage trains promise to connect all of the cities so that instead of taking days, weeks to get from one city to another, it might only take hours. Now, those are in very early stages of development, but in order to make these wondrous magic items, all sorts of interesting and rare exotic materials are required. Unfortunately, these materials only can be found across the river in the Twisted Lands. And so several encampments have been set up in the Twisted Lands in order to harvest these resources. These are different forts that are run by the different cities along the border who are trying to get these resources. Our characters here have signed up to go on an expedition to one of these forts. Fort is known as Fort Endeavor. It is the farthest fort into the Twisted Lands, and it is also the largest encampment there. They are near a whole lot of very, very valuable large deposits of these resources that are needed to make these major magic items. Because of the proximity to the source, the people who are inhabiting these forts are being affected in the same way that the land and the living things around them are. And so the longer that you spend there, the more chance that you yourself would mutate and change and polymorph and morph into something different. For some people, this could just be their hair color changes. For some people, it could be you develop an arm that is a panther's arm or something like that. Um, it will also affect your mind. You know, the whole idea of power corrupting. The longer you spend out here, the crazier you will get. So, uh, in order to combat that, the staff or the people that are occupying the forts rotate through every 3 to 4 months. They stagger it so that not everybody is rotating out at the same time, so that there's overlap, so that there's continuity in everything that's going on. And so each group will sort of hand off to the next group, have a little bit of overlap, and then come back. Uh, and so our characters have signed up to go on one of these expeditions, each for their own various reasons. And so we will first come to the Museum of Progress, this huge building at the foot of this large hill. Up at the top of the hill is the Institute for Advanced Arcana, and this Museum of Progress is sort of a collection of many of the different magical items and inventions that have come across over the last couple hundred years since the collection started. And in here we come to a gnome. And Garrett, if you would introduce your character for us.
Sure. So I'm playing Tarnish Storm Coil. I'm a deep rock gnome, and I hail from Ironhold. And I've been visiting the Museum of Progress since I've come to Forwitch, because I am most interested in the source of arcane and technological progress. So this is a very special place for me to research and maybe further my learning.
Great. And so as you're walking through the various installations and exhibits, you come over to the first magical printing press that was built, the prototype, and then there's actually it's behind glass. It's a very treasured item in this collection, but there is a little arcane sigil next to it that you could activate if you wanted to just to see how it runs. Would you like to do that?
Yes. I feel like Tarnish has visited the museum before, and
Hmm.
so he's done this before, but every time he steps into the hall, he's drawn to the printing press. His eyes go wide as he kind of takes in this technological advancement, and he walks up to the sigil.
Okay, and you wave your hand over the sigil, and the printing press, it starts up, and you see the little letters coming up, and then a piece of paper goes down, it closes, and all of a sudden, a little slip of paper comes out, spits out the side. You take it. It's just a little flyer. It's the first. It's the original first sort of thing that was sort of the hello world of our world here, and it's just this little image, and this shows the sort of the diagram of the press, and so they had the press sort of print a little copy of itself. As
Yeah.
the first thing that it spits out.
Tarnish takes out a notebook and he like carefully puts it in with like four other copies of the same image that he's already collected. But it's like he just loves each and every one of them.
Great. Okay, and so we'll pull back from him, and we move across the city. Olga, if you could describe your character.
Yep. So my character is a half-elf druid named Savina Markov, although she's going to be calling herself an elf for reasons. So that's not me messing up. That's part of her background. So she's from Rosil, and she's got a noble background. Her mother is from a noble family in Rosil. Um, and she's never quite fit in with her family or her seven siblings, who all seem to be kind of similar and very stoic and very respectable, while she's quite chaotic and all over the place. So she went to the academy to try to study, which is what her siblings all did, but she didn't feel like she fit in. And she found her uncle there who was working, Uncle Vector, and he helped her learn how to be a druid. And so now she wants to pursue something a little bit different from her fighter brothers and sorceress sisters. But she's very excited.
Great. And she is now currently visiting with Vector,
Yes.
sort of saying goodbye. And I think that him as being a druid, that he sort of runs like an animal hospital basically in the city. I think that
Yeah.
as I was, thinking about him, I was like, well, what could he do besides being, somebody else affiliated with the institute? So I was thinking that maybe he runs an animal hospital, and so he tends, sick and injured animals' pets, whether they're, sort of work animals or they're, their domestic pets or whatnot. And so there we are. He is currently writing very, very quickly on a small piece of paper, and and he hands it to you and he goes, Here's a list of several other druids who are on the mission right now out in the at Fort Endeavor. They are uh, several people that I have worked with in the past. They are, from a variety of traditions. I have shown you the basics of shape shifting, which is the moon tradition, the circle of the moon. But there are many druid circles out there that interact with nature in different ways. And part of your journey on this, I think, is for you to find how you interact with nature. I can't tell you how to do that. I can show you the ways that I do it, and that is with these animals here. But some people will interact with nature in different ways. Some people, it is the land itself that they draw their strength from. Some, it will be a herd of some sort of animals that they tend. For some, it is the stars themselves. And so how you find nature could be different. And so here's some, a list of a few names that are out there right now that you might want to look up when you get to the fort.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited, but I'm gonna miss you so much, and I'm gonna miss all the animals so much.
Oh, I know they're gonna miss you too. You have been so good with them, and let's see. And so he looks back and he makes little, you know, s- sound, sound and stuff, and out comes this little rat that runs around, runs up his shoulder, whispers in its ear, and it runs over to you, a friend for you to
My gosh.
to take with you and to keep an eye on you and to keep you safe. I told him to keep you safe while you were out there. I'm sure he will.
Wait, you're letting Rexy come with me?
Of course, of course. He wanted to go. I asked him if he would, and he jumped. He was very, very excited.
Gosh, Rexy, I'm so happy I'm not gonna be completely alone now. Thank you, Vector.
You're welcome, dear. You're welcome. And when you get back, come see me. Tell me all about your adventures. I may have some information on that little thing we've been talking about. But no, I don't want to get your hopes up.
Okay.
Go to your adventures. Have your adventures and have fun. Learn your place in the world and come back and tell me all about it.
I can't wait.
And now out over the city again. And here we come to this beautifully carved facade amongst what are otherwise sort of normal, more utilitarian sort of buildings. But here's this beautiful thing with these columns and these scroll work at the top, and there's like a frieze with sort of different people creating different things. A man at a forge in the center, a woman painting, a dancer over on the other side, and we go in through these marble columns. And Jay, if you would introduce us to your character.
Yeah. So I'm going to be playing Neart Treigthe. He is a paladin seeker from the Citadel of Creation. He is essentially on his sort of mission out into the world, and that has led him here to Forwitch, and he's seeking out the contact that he was bid come visit.
Okay, and so inside of the sort of the great hall here, the grand hall, you have Neart, and then an older man with a beard, balding on top, and this guy is sort of slowly whittling at this little block of wood as he is talking to Neart, and he's saying, "My friend, you will see things out there that I'm sure none of our kind have seen and told about. your adventures, your mission here, what you were taking on is pioneering. And this is the spirit, and very much the spirit of what a founder is like. That is my role. I have gone out into the world and saw that this city here, Forwitch, this great center of commerce and people and culture, needed representatives of the Citadel here to observe and to guide their creations. And you, my friend, you are going to have an opportunity to have a whole new group of people who have not been exposed to our teachings at your, at audience with you. One of the things that I would like for you to do while you are out in the Twisted Lands at Fort Endeavor is to determine, is it worth us building a permanent mission there? We understand that they have to rotate people through to protect them from the effects of being that close to the source. Is there something that us in our devotion will that protect us? Will we need to rotate through the same? It is difficult to get our people from the Citadel all the way around here. That's a long journey, as you know. And so that will be one of the things that your wisdom will be relied on in this matter.
And Neart sort of bows his head and he says, I will endeavor to carry the teachings of the Citadel to those who are ignorant in the wastes, and may it be the Forge Master's will that I might be able to create a place for us in this world, and to protect those who may be at risk of falling victim to not knowing the source as we do.
Yes, it is a heavy weight that we all carry, trying to make sure that everyone understands that this is not just some toy. That the magic, the arcane, the power that is given to us is something that we must use in order to make the world more beautiful, in order to further the creation around us. And you, my friend, I have great confidence that this is something that you will bring with you out into this wild place. One of the things that I was wondering is, are they bringing beauty there, or are they only removing beauty from the land? That is another thing I would like to know from you when you return. Are they enhancing the beauty out there, or are they only destroying it?
Am I to intervene if I find them?
That is up to your conscience. If it is something that you feel is so egregious that you cannot stand for it, then by all means. But know that we are more than just individuals. We are a citadel, a city of people all devoted to this. And should the need arise, we can call the banners. We can have our armies march. But that is not our preferred way, as you know. Our preferred way is to encourage, is to bring out the beauty around us. It is not to bend people to our will.
I will endeavor to lay upon the people as fine scroll work instead of just the bending of bars.
Excellent, excellent. Then I bid you a fortuitous journey. Enjoy what you see out there. There could be unique things that none of our order has ever seen before. So I'm envious, but my place is here as founder of this mission. So I send you on, Seeker.
By the will of the Forge Master.
By the will of the Forge Master. And we pull out of the mission above the city. And now we're going to bring everyone together because, as I sent out a letter from the captain of the expedition, who will be leading you into the wild lands and the twisted lands, and he had said that each of you should have certain things with you, as far as food, as far as spell components and whatnot. Now, I also said that at this point you all have a horse and basic saddle and sort of traveling gear, because I don't think any of you are from this city originally. You all came here, so you would already have that traveling gear. But you're going to need 2 weeks worth of food, and you're going to need spell components and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so he sent you to get this out here. It's the Otter Emporium. And so we come down to the foot of the large bridge that goes over the Great River. And there's multiple towers on this bridge, places that they can drop the bridge so that invading forces can't come across, things like that. It's very ornate. It's a towering structure, and sort of at the foot of the bridge, on this side of the river, is this large warehouse with a big, huge sign that says "Over the River Emporium" with the OTR are emblazoned in red, and the rest are just normal. So it's the Otter Emporium. And the letter that you were given, that was delivered to you from the Lord Lawrence Henri, says that if you present this letter, the Emporium will give you 10% off of their prices. And so you have after each of you have sort of said goodbye to the city in your own way, you come together at the Emporium, and so there are. As you walk in, it's sort of a showroom with a large counter, and then a warehouse behind. The showroom has examples of the different things that you can buy, but then you can't buy them right there. You have to take a list up to the owners. Yensha Goodfellow and her husband Bon, and then their daughter Lark and their son Greg work at the shop as well. They're halflings, so they have a countertop that is sort of human height, and they have raised up the platform behind so that they can be at eye level with their average customers. But then they also have several other counters that are different heights that they can, if there was, say, a half giant or something like that, they climb up onto the top so they can be eye level with the half giant. And if there's other halflings, they go down to the sort of the smaller
Very
counters.
accommodating.
Yes, it's very they like being able to look people in the eye. Mostly it's for negotiations. They're not doing this all the time for the tall people. But they have this down to quite the operation. There's maybe 8 to 10 people already in the showroom, and Yensha is up on one side, and she takes your ticket that is just a list of the things that you want to buy, and then gives it to one of either the kids or her husband, who goes to the back and pulls your order. So depending on what you guys want, unless it's something super exotic, you can buy it at 10% less than whatever the player's handbook sort of prices are, sort of D&D Beyond prices, so you can stock up on the things that you need. If there's anything more exotic, something specific that you're looking for, then we can do a little shopping round right here. So is there anything that you guys want to buy that's more exotic than sort of standard food and spell components?
I don't know that Neart needs anything. I think the Citadel probably outfit him with the majority of the gear that he needed. And then also, he's not packing a lot of gold. So, I mean, unless he can get a healing potion or something like that for 17 gold.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a little more expensive than.
Okay. So, yeah, he'll just get his basic spell components. I assume that's probably not too bad.
All right, so we're going to use this sort of for the arrangement of the shops. Sure. So if you guys can go ahead and place your minis in the shop. This is the one of the people that's just there. The guy with the beard up there is her husband.
So there's kind of different like levels of rarity items. Like if I'm looking for specifically like spell or arcane elements, would I see kind of like nicer things here than I really need for myself?
Yeah. I would say this is sort of a one-stop shop for anybody going off uh into the wildlands or into the twisted lands. So
Mhm.
they're going to be trying to, people are going to be wanting to stock up on exotic and rare components. So they have, a little bit of everything, and uh, you know, so if there's anything that's, say not player's handbooky that you're thinking of, then you can figure out if they have it.
I think Tarnish is really gonna go for kind of the standard components that he'll need to cast with his unique artificer tools.
Okay.
So he's kind of looking at like some of these more standard like wizard or sorcerer components. He's like, well, I guess could I fit that into my my inventions,
Hmm.
into my coils and my springs and all of my technological uh, advancements. So he's kind of pondering over these elements as he's looking at the spellcasting components.
Okay, great.
But he'll probably just pick up the standard kit.
Mhm. Okay. Is there anything specific that you're looking for?
One question. So when I created the character, she came with 10 rations of food. Does
Mhm.
that count? I don't need to buy, I'll just need to buy 4 more?
Yeah. You would just need to buy another four, or you might want to buy. I mean, 10 would probably be enough. Sort of the schedule for the journey is 10 days,
Mhm.
but depending on weather, it could take up to 14 days. So it's the kind of thing where if you wanted to just chance it with 10, you could, but then you would have to figure out, in the later days, how you would get some food if you had delays on the road. But otherwise, yeah, if you buy, 1 week's worth of food, or I'm not sure if it's in by the day.
Mhm.
If it's by the day, just buy 4 days worth of food.
And what about food for the animals? Is that separate?
For your
Of course.
little rat friend, that would be. Don't worry about that. That'll
Yeah.
be included in your food. For the animals, there should be a thing. I think for feed,
Yeah.
for animal feed. So you would need 2 weeks worth of that.
Cool. And as she was walking over, did she see any like rose bushes or any thorny plants around town?
Yeah.
Where she
There's plenty of flowers and and whatnot all over the.
where she snagged a stem of a plant with thorns?
Sure.
So aside from that, I just have a couple of um
Okay.
so
And so you each give your lists to the
yeah.
uh, to Yensha, and she hands them out to the family members who run in the back and start pulling
Mhm.
items. If everybody could just make a perception check for me. First roll of the campaign.
Exciting stuff.
It's a D20, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
13.
First roll on the ground. Right. Not one.
That's one. We got it out of the way quick.
8.
8.
13.
13. Okay.
Another perceptive bunch.
Got distracted by Rexy.
Well, we got another natural one in the campaign. DM rolls his first natural one. Okay, and so as you guys are sort of mingling about, waiting for your orders to be pulled, uh, Tarnish,
Yes.
you notice uh, this gentleman here pick this other person's pocket. Are you going to do anything?
I'm going to walk up and I say, "Oh, excuse me, sir. I think your hand slipped into that woman's pocket. Did you?" And I just kind of like bring attention to both of them that I saw what happened, but in a
Okay.
very like oblivious, kind of just observational kind of way. And Tarnish is a bit of a blue skies thinker. He's very idealistic. So he says, "Oh, I think you actually accidentally snagged a few copper out of her pocket or something of the sort."
And okay, I'm just going to see. Okay. All right. So this guy starts backing up, starts sort of backing away, going, I don't know what he's talking about. I just sort of bumped into you. I don't What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He just keeps moving.
So I think if Neart hears the commotion, he's going to come over to there.
Join us.
And as a matter of fact, we can do it like this: as he's backing us, he just backs right up into Neart.
Good idea. All right.
Give the lady back her copper, or we won't have any problems.
Roll intimidation.
Intimidation. Let's see here. Okay. 18.
18. Okay. All right. So he throws a like a handful of sand in your face.
Mm.
So I need you to make a dexterity save to see if you can avoid it.
Oh boy.
Well, that was untoward. You shouldn't do something like that.
10.
10. All right. That's unfortunately goes right in your face, and you can't. You're temporarily blinded for like 1 round.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody roll initiative now. Get into initiative order.
10.
5.
18.
Okay, so our pocket. Then he's trying to get to the door over there. So he's going to use bonus action disengage, and then is going to run through past here. But there's so many people that he's not
rolling them over.
Yeah, he's just sort of pushing through, and they're not quite understanding what's going on. So he only makes it to about there, even though normal movement would have gotten farther with all of the people around. He's sort of stuck there. All right, so Tarnish, you are up.
Tarnish, completely misreading the situation of what has happened, he goes, I say, please stop. And he's going to use one of his magical tinkering abilities.
Okay.
And he's going to pull out a handful of kind of like quartz, but that are like they're like a reddish kind of rose quartzy stone that have been kind of fashioned into little ladybug mechanical creatures. And he's going to whisper into them, and he's going to throw them onto the pickpocket that's running away.
Okay.
And they basically, when they touch him, start emitting bright red lights and kind of just like drawing attention to this person, and they kind of like grip onto him, so they're difficult maybe to get off.
Okay.
And he's going to also use his movement to follow the person.
Great. So you can go ahead and follow him to him.
I say, halt, please.
Okay, so he's got these sparkly, sort of glowing red lights stuck to him now.
Yes.
Okay. And does that give advantage to anybody that's attacking him, or?
So I think that it's just it creates some kind of, it can do like an odor or a nonverbal sound.
Okay.
So it's really just to draw attention to him.
Gotcha. All right, cool. And so up next we have Savina.
So all this time, Savina has been trying to control Rexy, who's so interested in everything that he's trying to jump on all of the tables and whatnot. So she's been trying to control him. As Rexy jumps into the air, she's done with it. So she decides to thorn whip him to grab him, not to hurt him.
Okay.
And then she accidentally hits
the
other person.
Okay. That sounds good. Go ahead and roll an attack, I think it is, for that one.
So that is a 4.
4? Okay, so not only do you miss your rat, but you also miss the other guy, too. So we just hear a whoosh as the thorn whip comes out. And then Neart.
I guess Neart's sort of like rubbing the sand from his eyes. I guess, let's see.
Just have disadvantage on attack.
Yeah, so he's going to sort of shove his way through over to the other side here, and then he's going to attack him with a sword, but with the flat of the blade to like whack him in the side of the head. I say, non-lethal damage for now. And so let's see. Okay, so efficiency bonus on the attack. Sorry. We got what? +1 for proficiency now. Strength. Okay. 9, 3, 12, +1, 14.
14. That'll hit. This guy's
Okay.
not heavily armored.
So yeah, he's gonna 10. So yes, that's 2 plus. Just that's 5 damage, and he says, Oh wait, it's a disadvantage though. My attack is
Right, so you're gonna have to roll again. But it's
I rolled the same thing.
okay. Good. Good. It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. So yeah, he whacks him, and then he said, "I said stop."
Okay. All right. So kind of reaction. So he blood coming out of his nose, and he's just sort of surrounded by our people. The thorn whip just came by him. He's like, he's got these glowing red embers on him and stuff. So he takes out the pouch and drops it. He's like, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get something to eat. I've been, out of work for too long. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Please just let me go. Just let me go. That's what I took right there. It's all there. Just let me go.
I think Neart is gonna grab him by the scruff of his shirt and say, "You're hungry? I will give you a ration while we wait for the guard." And he's gonna try to drag him out front, but also here, eat this.
Yeah. Okay, great. So so while you're finished waiting for the order from from the Emporium, you sit there on the bench out front as this poor guy eats this little trail ration granola bar kind of thing, and one of Yensha sent her son off to go get the guard. He comes back with the guard. They sort of interrogate the guy. They're like, "Yeah, we've caught this guy once or twice before. Here, come with us, and we're gonna see what the magistrate has to say about this." And so they lead the pickpocket off.
Wait, you've caught them before?
Yes, yeah. There's thieves in the city. It happens anywhere that large groups of people get together.
He still has his hands.
Well, we're not brutal about it. I mean, he'll probably have some community service to do, and make him clean the duck pond or whatever. There's plenty of things to do in the city that he could repay his debt. We don't need to chop his hand off. That's a bit harsh.
If it is your way. Good.
Tarnish is gonna go up and kind of pull off these ladybug mechanical objects you put on him. You say, the printing press actually has guides for how to start a new trade. So perhaps if you educate yourself, and he's just kind of swinging these off of him as he's being taken away.
Love it. And give him last bits and pieces of life advice.
You can turn your act around.
Yes, you'll be scared straight.
And
Amazing.
Savina chases after him, and she's like, "Hey, wait! I heard it. You're hungry. Here, do you want 3 more rations for later?
That's very kind of you. Thank you so much.
Please take it. And I know that you can do well. You don't have to pickpocket. I mean, you've got some skills, so why don't you try to work on it?"
I will.
Okay.
Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for not beating me like the other one did. What?
Sorry about the thorn whip. It wasn't for you, I swear.
Good to know.
We all need some tough love every now and then, don't we?
And so the city guard, leads the thief off. Each of your orders are brought up by the lovely halflings that run the establishment, and you go your separate ways for the evening. The next morning, you wake up bright and early, and you meet at the foot of the bridge. At I believe it was 8 bells, and so every hour they ring the bell for the number of the hour that they're on. There you are joined by the other members of the expedition. You see the Lord Lawrence Henri, who's the captain. He's got this cape, shining armor, very much the sort of the image of a hero leading, troops into battle kind of thing. He has with him two fists of battle mages, and a fist would be 5 battle mages. And then he also has a fist of medics. And then there are several other groups of people here. There's a group of 5 artificers from the Institute who are going to further the research that's being done at their laboratory out in the fort. There are several other sort of wizards and sorcerers and whatnot that are going for their own various research reasons. There's a troupe of actors that and performers that are going to bring theater to the fort. They have a wagon that has very elaborate sort of mechanical uh, uh, sort of its ability to transform into a stage, basically. That it'll open up, and then you have this sort of stage and whatnot, the backdrops and stuff for them to do their shows. And then there's a few other sort of random people sort of strewn about in the crowd. As the 8 bells sound, the captain sort of rallies everyone up and sort of everyone starts to march across the Great Bridge, and you leave what has been your home for the last few days, at least. Those of you who have traveled here, and you go across this mighty great river, the biggest river that you have ever seen, on the largest bridge that you've ever seen. You pass the guard towers that were established there to protect the city from invaders from the Twisted Lands, and you come down across over on the other side of the river. And there's a small encampment there with uh, uh, a stone wall and gate that's to protect the foot of the bridge. Originally, the bridge was designed so that you could drop part of it when invaders came, and then they realized that it was a big pain in the ass to put the bridge back together after you drop the bridge. So they built a little fortress around the foot of the bridge on the far side. You step through the main gates and into what are known as the Twisted Lands. And at first, they don't seem very different than any of the lands that you have traveled through up to this point. But you know that the farther that you go, the more that the plants and animals will change and the land itself will change. And so as you step into this great forest in front of you, we're going to go ahead and close the first chapter of our story.